Alright, we are back in here with some more Void's Blitzarre adventure. And right now I'm just checking the ranges of some long-range enemies so that I know exactly how to kill this hero without putting people in range. Because Kirsten is at death's door, and I decided, you know, I'll just go with Jerome, and if he crits he can kill Force. And if not, then someone else can get the kill. But this was actually a mistake on my part, because the hero could have procced Soul and gotten some health back. I didn't factor into that. I realized it the moment I did it. Which is a trend, honestly, when you play Fire Emblem. When I play Fire Emblem, at least. It's like, well, I shouldn't have done that exactly when I'm pressing the buttons to do exactly that. So as you can see, like the lower part of the map is all devoid of enemies now. It's mostly just enemies that do not move unless triggered, which is probably the worst part of an EFE map when it comes to getting difficulty in there. It's just, you can turtle as much as you want and you can beat it, basically. Other than the reinforcements that will come at some point. But yeah, we'll just heal Kirsten back up with Bead. And I think this portion also shows pretty well why Rally Spectrum is not that great anymore in a way. Bead is just so far back, and the only way to get him further up ahead is with more rescue dropping. It's not that I cannot do it at all, it's just kind of feels worse to me. So I might actually end up ditching Bead. So some more rescue drop shenanigans to get Kirsten in a different place, I guess. I don't know, sometimes I just make these fancy rescue drop plays without even needing to. So I'm just trying to figure out the safest way to approach. And checking the turn count here, it's turn 8 apparently. So what I'm thinking is that Sage I can probably kill with Kirsten fairly safely, so I'll just have her fly closer. Count the squares to make sure she can get there. And now I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can I kill this archer pretty safely, and how can I make sure the ballista boat is reachable next turn. So what I'm gonna do is, well, I need to get rid of the archer with Celicia. She's the best way to get through these woods and have 1-2 range offense. That's why I think she's kind of broken. And I'm thinking, how can I entice this boat to move a little closer to me without putting someone at like danger. And I figure out that he does not entirely overlap with the Purge Bishop, so what I do is I put Bead at the longest range possible so that he has to move 1 square south or down, whatever terminology you prefer. And then when he moves down, he'll be in range of Celicia and she can hopefully kill him. And Tam, because he's so far apart, I'm trying to figure out, okay, I can probably get him to get the ruins in the northern right, because, you know, I figured if there's rogues on the map, then you can probably count on them trying to destroy that village or that ruins. Okay, so some useless rallying for the most part. Trying to get Jerome closer. Thank God for the boots. I forgot of that Sage move before, but Bead is not in range of the Sage or the Bishop, so he should be safe, right? And I'm still like, can I really afford to move Anna closer or not? I'm not sure. Just not sure what to do with her. It's kind of weird because, you know, usually Wyvern Rider's so broken, you just put him in there without regards to the safety. And here we go, suddenly this paladin moves and the Blizzard ships attacks, and he's like, wait, did you just double my Bead? Then I realize, oh right, ballista ships have actual speed in this game. And Bead could have totally died, and I would have had to do yet my 5th annoying restart. And it would have been totally trash, but instead I live, I get rewarded for my ridiculously bad play because I forgot about his speed. So yeah, this is a very fast ship apparently with like 12 speed, and Bead it's exactly 8. Well done. And to make matters worse, he also doesn't get bone routed by Celicia, so he gets to stick around for another turn, and if I don't bait him the right way, then he might move away and cause more annoyance. This also probably should have been the point where I realized the guy only has like 20 attack, and most people really aren't hurt that very much by that thing, other than Bead. So I decided, hey, let's use Edge. He has like 28 HP, so he should be fine. He can survive. He doesn't get doubled. So he'll probably be the bait that I will use next. And as you can see, like these enemies, the sniper, the druid, and the 2 knights, they don't actually move. It's just the paladin that moves closer, so it's kind of a weird guard for that point. It's like they're guarding a choke point and that's it. They're just standing in the way, but they're not really a threat because you can stand wherever you want as long as it's not in all of their ranges, and you'll probably come out on top. We've dispatched the sage, but we still have the bishop to kind of worry about. Now I'm just trying to figure out how do I rally and then rescue drop Edge in the right spot for him to lure the boat. And I decided this is the spot. I don't know if this is actually the good spot, but this is the spot that I decided to go on. So I do some more rallying. Again, not a very useful rally. Like, rally is most useful when you're facing a large group of enemies and you're kind of turtling through a portion of them. Like last chapter was pretty heavy enemy density, but you also couldn't move very fast because I believe it was fog of war and heavy terrain, so you basically you had a lot of easy rally targets because people were very close to each other since they couldn't move out very far, and there were lots of opportunities, lots of enemies, lots of fights happening on one phase. So what you get is that your boosts are used many times in one phase, whereas here the boost is like sometimes the units getting rallied aren't even fighting, and some of them face like one enemy each. So it's much less broken in these situations. It's still broken because the few enemies you do fight, you almost always get to use the rally boosts against. So in that way I still think rallies are kind of broken. Anyway, this guy has a killing edge, but I think he used the other weapon and killing edge crit wouldn't have killed me, so it's fine. Edge shows just how much better he is than B defensively, because he took like, what was it, 7 damage from that ballista boat. So I should have used him as a lure to begin with, but live and learn, I guess. Yeah, that looks like 7 damage to me. And because he's still at that spot, I can kill him with Celicia. I'm never going to get this right, am I? And I'm trying to think, can I get a head start on killing these guys over here? That Great Knight can move and has a Brave Axe, so just trying to figure out how much damage he can do to Kirsten. Kirsten is not rallied right now and cannot be rallied this turn without some weird maneuver that probably would take her out of commission for an enemy phase. So I might just take a little slower. But now Jerome got a Gale Force, so we can get closer. Figure if I just take out these 4 enemies in one player phase, then they're no more threat to me. The bishop is kind of secluded though, behind a lot of terrain. So it's probably going to have to be Kirsten who takes care of him. I wonder if I've called Kirsten Vanessa by accident in this recording. I think I might have. I'll have to re-listen and see. So yeah, just checking who can take a purge hit, who cannot. Before I had to be really careful with Void to put her in any ranges at all because she had that 0 luck, but with the Hoplon Guard I can put her in range of things and use her as a lure in a way. I think in FP6 sometimes enemies would ignore the Delphi shield when deciding who to attack, and I think there might be a similar thing going on with the Hoplon Guard where they like targeting people with 0 luck even if they have the Hoplon Guard and they cannot get crit. But that might just be confirmation bias. Maybe it's just because they like attacking the Lord or whatever. Basically I'm trying to figure out a safe configuration of attacks where I don't have to crit anyone and still be sort of safe. I don't want to risk Kirsten this late into the map and end up having to restart anyway after all the good level ups and all the lucky breaks that I've gotten already. So I decided I'll just go for the 75% chance of Jerome critting one out of his 2 attacks to kill one of these knights. Not entirely necessary, but I think we'll end up fine. And Kirsten, I think, goes to a more safe spot, yeah. Again, the sniper doesn't move, so it's totally fair to just stay behind Jerome and rally him for a little bit of extra survivability, because he gets like 8 avoid out of it. And I didn't mention this yet, but Jerome got the body ring, so that means that steel lances, for example, don't really weigh him down, or they weigh him down a lot less now. Not a lot, just 2, but that's a bit of extra avoid, I guess. I felt like Jerome was the best candidate because Gale Force does help him get involved in a couple of rescue drops sometimes, if I want him to. And there's the reinforcements, never mind, no more filler talk. So I don't know what turn count this is, but I think I'll check. And there's a bunch of mounted units coming from the south, just like we got warned about. I think these are the kind of ambush spawns that everyone should be fine with, because for one, it's announced way in advance that they will happen. And wow, I just barely lived that one. Sick. Thank God for healing he got at some point. So yeah, these are fine ambush spawns because for one, you know that they will come eventually, just not exactly when, but that's fine. And you know that they will come from behind, so it's not like a spot where you are working towards, but it's actually a spot that you came from, so it gives you incentive to hurry up. And the fact that you don't know exactly when they come gives you the time to prepare in advance for when they eventually will come. But it also means there's a certain bit of uncertainty. So it means you don't really know when they will come, and for that reason, you have to play it safe and hurry up. I think that's a bit better than, for example, that Chapter 7 boss in FP6, where he's like, yeah, reinforcements will come from the south. And he says it like almost exactly when it happens, so if you have units in the south, they might be fucked anyway, because these are Cavalier reinforcements, whereas here, this is like 10 turns after, so you have plenty of time to prepare, but you still don't know exactly when they come, but obviously the game wasn't mean enough to let them come like 2 turns after. I don't know if the point I'm making is clear. So yeah, I think I'm trying to have Jerome go for the bishop, but obviously you can't get there. But it's fine because he kills enemies anyway, the most dangerous ones. And we get a perfect level up, because Jerome's growths are OP. And Anna actually shows off that if you use the light brand with her, it fixes her issues if the resistance is low enough. Like her strength is actually good enough to start one-rounding things, but only sometimes, not often enough. I do have like 3 light brands, so that makes Anna more capable than she will be in other games. Because light brand availability is always pretty low. And I'm deciding, do I go for Orson this turn? And the answer is no, because he has a bunch of scary skills and a brave sword and quite a bit of attack actually. And when he has the brave sword, I can actually one-round him with Kirsten. So what I decided to do is I'll kill him next turn when I have like a bunch more units available to do it, and this turn I'll just make it safe for myself to get all these units closer. But I don't want to trigger him to use his Tomahawk. I think it's pronounced Tomahawk. Mangs always says Tomahawk, but I don't really like the way of saying that. I like saying Tomahawk. So I decided let's just stay out of his range entirely and keep him on the brave sword, because that way my lance users will get weapon triangle advantage. Healing Jerome just in case. Don't want anything to go wrong here. And this is when you realize, yeah, Anna is at like base level, I think. I think her base level is 15. Or maybe she ended up exactly at 15. Either way, I'm pretty sure I didn't get a single kill with her in this chapter. I should have used her way more, I think. There were definitely opportunities for her to get kills if I was a little more smart about it. But I don't know. I'm not really attached to that Anna. I like this one a little bit more. It's kind of hard to get attached to characters that don't really talk, I find, and it's easier to get attached to those that you have been using for a very long time. For example, Tim and Tam, they are 2 of my favorites, even though they might not be the best units around, but they're just fun to use. Yeah, these reinforcements are pretty scary, and here we find out that the ruins, unless their terrain is like really hard to get onto, it's like mountain terrain, you can't visit it. So Tam's strip there was a total waste of time. So yeah, got me fooled there. I thought you would be able to visit ruins because you can in FE7, and you can't. So now it turns out that Orson is pretty strong, and the fact that Kirsten can one round him doesn't really mean anything because everyone else is doing pretty badly against him. And I'm trying to find the safest route because hurting him triggers, I think, the blood thing that he has, the fiery blood. So I just want to make sure that he doesn't get the opportunity to proc skills against me and end the map and end the run. So I think I go for safe 2 range shots and I finish him off at close range. So Lucia definitely MVP for this map. Holy shit, what a good unit. Like, she's basically a flying mage. That's insane. So yeah, we need the Silver Lance to finish him off. because everyone else gets wrecked by the fire blood. And go for a pot shot. Sick music that doesn't last very long. And here we go. That's some darling for you. And that was it for this chapter. I forgot what chapter number it is. I think it's 16. My file says it's 16, so yeah. Oh yeah, Leroy got a sick new portrait. We must find Kaga before the Demon King kills us all. Alright, I'll see you guys around. Bye.